Where was he? I want every Cowboys fan to look in the mirror and answer that one question. Where was the highest paid player in NFL history yesterday? Was he on the field? No, he was not. Dak Prescott was in the stands. He bought a ticket, or maybe it was given to him. He sat in a luxury suite, and here we are crippling this franchise salary cap and destroying our ability to build a defense, just so our quarterback can sit there and watch real champions play football. I've said it before, and I'm going to double down right now. Dak Prescott will never, I repeat, never win a Super Bowl as the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. Never. It is mathematically impossible to pay a good, not great player elite money and win. If seeing him in that suite didn't make others furious, you aren't paying attention. The Fox Den is now open.
Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Fox Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Fox Den Sports Podcast. I got the dog with us, and we got the Den's enforcer, Clay Bench McDonald, joining us as well, as always. We're going to jump right into the Super Bowl, and the headline is Defense Still Wins Championships. You guys saw last night the Seahawks suffocated Drake Maye, won 29-13. And everyone wants to talk about Sam Darnold, his redemption story, which is a great story. But in reality, Seattle's defense dominated this game. They erased Drake Maye. They proved that a dominant defense beats a hype-trained quarterback each and every time. Here's my question to you, Clay and Kellen. Does this game prove that the modern NFL obsession with offense at all costs is actually a lie?
No. The defense was incredible, but they weren't playing at a high-powered offense. I don't know what it would have looked like if they were playing against one of the top offenses. Granted, it didn't really seem like there really was a top offense on the AFC side. But I do think it shows the importance of defense because if you play mistake-free football on the offensive side and have a dominant defense, you theoretically can beat anybody. And I think that's what Sam Darnold did. He didn't play just a game out of his mind, but he did everything he needed to do and didn't make any mistakes, and the defense won that game for him, and I think that's a fantastic way to play football if you have the ability to.
You have to have some kind of offense. I mean, the Patriots offense was like the second or third highest, I think, in the NFL scoring offense this year, so they were decent, but it goes back to they play one of the worst or easiest schedules. They got lucky with Denver being out, or with Knicks being out, I should say. I mean, I'm not saying they were bad. I think they just kind of got things, just everything fell into place for them this year. But they're good, have a good offense, but I would say maybe just a hair better than average, maybe. I think it's just the defenses that played were so poor this year. Just a lot of things didn't go right in the AFC with Lamar Jackson getting hurt. The Bills just collapsed for whatever reason. Patrick Mahomes had a terrible season, then gets hurt. And so just, some of the players out there that I just was like, really thought were going to be the teams just didn't happen. But, I mean, the Seahawks, they were the best team in the NFC all year long. And so you have to have a little bit of an offense to be able to be good, because I think if defense is what completely won the championship, then OU would have just wiped everybody out this year. And
Sure.
Obviously it got them as many wins as they had in college, but we just couldn't score enough in many of our games to make a difference.
Yeah, Kellen, I remember you talking about, and I'm looking it up right now. So here's who they played this season, and they played a bunch of teams that had the coach fired at the end of the season, or maybe during it. The Raiders, they lost their coach. Miami Dolphins lost their coach. Pittsburgh Steelers lost their coach. Carolina did not. Buffalo lost their coach. The Saints did not. Tennessee lost their coach. Cleveland lost their coach. Atlanta lost their coach. Tampa Bay should have lost their coach. The Jets are the Jets. Cincinnati, you could argue there that they should have lost their coach. The Giants lost their coach. Again, Buffalo lost their coach again. But Baltimore lost their coach. and then the Jets and Miami. So 11 of those games they played this year were teams that underperformed versus last year. I mean, and Pittsburgh, you can make an argument they went to the playoffs and Mike Tomlin left, but yeah, they played an easier schedule for sure. I'm not taking anything away from them because they did beat Buffalo and handled them pretty well during the season in one of those games. But regardless, they went into Denver. They won. They did what they needed to do. It's a tough place to play. I think if Denver doesn't turn the ball over in their own territory, it's a completely different ball game for sure. But they were not the team during the regular season that showed up in that Super Bowl. But I do think Seattle had something to do with that. And I do think it's still an offensive league. A lot of folks talk about offensive coaches are the only ones that are really successful. We got two defensive-minded coaches that were very successful and finished and got to the Super Bowl, won and won it, obviously. And then the last coach that went to the Super Bowl as a defensive coach, I think, was Bill Belichick, if I'm not mistaken. It's mainly offensive guys. But again, that's what I'm just wondering. Do you think you're seeing a change of guard? Or do you think it just kind of happened that way? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's just going to continue to be more of an offensive focus in the next several Super Bowls?
Most likely, because I mean, the Seattle has a defensive-minded coach, but they did have some weapons on offense, so it wasn't like their offense was just non-existent. And the same-ish for the Patriots, but I just think overall we're going to see a lot of offensive guys. It was just a fluke, like Clay said. The Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar and Burrow, all that was just kind of set it up for success for the Patriots to squeeze their way in. And the Seattle, like I said, had good offensive weapons. Jackson Smith and Jigbo was the offensive player of the year for a reason, and you can't be a receiver that's offensive player of the year without having a quarterback that can play pretty well. So yeah, they were defense first, but they did have weapons on offense. So I think it's just going to kind of depend on who comes out next season with a real hot offense, but it could be anybody now. So I don't know if it's just going to be a defensive league from here on out. I wouldn't go that far.
Usually it's a copycat type of league, but regardless, I do think that it'll still obviously be offense. It's still going to be an offensive league. The rules are more towards offensive players nowadays. So defense, a strong defense can win a championship. I don't think I put this Seattle defense up against, heck, the Legion of Boom. Definitely the 85 Bears, the Ravens in 2000. Those are some of the best defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s. Those are some of the best defenses I ever saw and I witnessed. And I don't think they're in that discussion. I do think New England just did not have a very good offense yesterday and didn't play very well. And that's the whole sole reason. I don't think it was just some incredibly dominant defense. They dominated the game, but I don't think it's a dominant defense. I know Kellen and I were talking if hypothetically, if Josh Allen and the Bills would have been in it, I think the Bills would have given them a run for their money. I truly do. I truly do not think, and this is no busting chops on Seattle, because congratulations, they won. I don't think the two best teams in football played on Sunday. I truly don't. I think there's some other teams that are much better, and I shouldn't say much better, but better, definitely better than New England. I truly do think that. I think Seattle is one of the top two, maybe three teams in the NFC side. So I am not sure. Clay, any thoughts to anything that I just said, or Count?
Well, I certainly hope that it stays an offensive league, because that might have been one of the more boring Super Bowls I've ever watched. Just because I hate not scoring. That makes it fun to watch. It just is exciting. But the people that like that games are also the ones that like the 1-0 pitchers duel or the 2-1 soccer match or something like that. And but not me. That's not me.
I don't mind a defensive battle, but I want it to be like both sides to where it's close. In this game, I don't know about you, Clay, but me and Kellen were sitting here talking. This game, you knew pretty early on that it was over. Even though we kept saying, well, if New England could get back into it, if they score here and they're up 7-6 now, or it's 9-7 or 12-7, it could be a different ball game. But Seattle.
They were showing no signs of it.
Right. They were showing no signs, and Seattle New England showed nothing, and Seattle just dominated the game. And I truly think that Seattle decided at one point and said, hey, you know what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure we don't play mistake-free football and don't give them any opportunities. I don't know about your thoughts.
I totally agree. I think they just, like, once we got up 9-0, it was like, we're going to win. Just keep kicking field goals.
Sure.
Keep the ball away from them. Don't turn it over, especially on our side of the ball or our side of the field. And it's smart. I mean, it's gamesmanship. You know, a lot of people gave, speaking of OU, Venables a hard time because he was not opening up. I was like, he won 10 games, you know. And it's like, because he played like that. It's like, let's just win the ball game. And
coaches don't care.
I give him credit for that.
Yeah. I was happy for Sam Darnold.
Hey, I do want to
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Go. No, you go.
No, before you go into the next topic, I got one more thing to say.
Go for it.
I just want to give myself a shout out in my predictions for at the beginning of the year that I had the Seahawks going 6-11 and the Patriots going 5-12. So good job to myself. Neither one making the playoffs.
I'm gonna have to re-listen. I don't remember what I said. I really don't. I know I don't. I think I had them probably win 7 or 8 ball games, maybe 9. I don't know. I'm talking about Seattle.
I just kept it because I was interested if I even got close because I had the Ravens versus Eagles.
Yeah, I had Ravens and Eagles as well, which at the beginning of the year was a really good pick, and then just it all kind of went apart. Honestly, about a third of the way through the season. I was happy for Sam Darnold. I don't know about you guys. First USC quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. I'm not a fan of that, but I'm happy for Sam Darnold because I know I sat there and thought, and I'll apologize to him right now. I thought he was a bust because the fact that, he played for the Jets, went to Carolina, and you never heard from him. So I thought we were probably never going to hear from this guy again. I know he went to San Francisco, which I completely forgot about, and did some backup duty. And then went to Minnesota and rock and rolled, and now he's Super Bowl champion. And the thing is, look at Minnesota. I guarantee you they're devastated right now. And O'Connell wanted him as his quarterback instead of J.J. McCarthy. And, of course, we talked about that last week. The general manager got fired. Big decisions like that can get you fired. Bad decisions can get you fired, 100%. One more NFL topic I do want to talk about is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to call the headline here the Brazil distraction. So it's the news here would be it's been confirmed Dallas Cowboys are playing in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2026. My rant would be that Jerry Jones came out and said he wants to go where the fans are. He talked about his business interest in Brazil. My problem is that's the problem. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are they're a football team, but they don't act like they're a football team. It's just basically a tour, a circus tour that's going on, and Jerry's focused on selling jerseys in Rio and expanding the global brand, while the actual product on the field can't get past the divisional round. So here's my question with you guys. Be honest with me. Either yes or no. Is this Brazil trip just another publicity stunt to distract us from the fact that Jerry Jones can't fix this roster?
I don't think it's meant as a distraction, but it's clearly for publicity, but it's equally for the Cowboys and the NFL. Somebody was going to be playing there, so might as well send America's team, supposedly. So I don't know if it's necessarily a distraction because everybody knows that they're garbage, so nobody in the States, at least, is getting distracted from that.
I think this is they upped it to 9 games this next year in international. I think it was 7 this past season, going to 9. I could be wrong, but I don't remember the Cowboys ever going playing overseas anywhere or outside of the U.S. I could be wrong, but I just don't remember it. So I think
they did one time, but I don't remember.
Okay, so it maybe Mexico City or something like that, but it's time for them to go. And it doesn't seem like, I could be wrong. I guess the Chiefs went to Brazil this past year, wasn't it? And but I don't think there's any reason for them not to go. But I don't know. It just seems like everybody's gone at some point or the other, and it seems like it's seems like you wouldn't want to send your good team because you want to try to help market those teams that aren't as popular. So maybe that's why Dallas is going, is because they're waning. They're not as popular as they have been, because everywhere that goes, those NFL stadiums or the international games are sold out. And because there's a lot of Americans living abroad and they all want to come to the games. They all wear their jerseys of their favorite team, no matter who's playing. But I guarantee you, if I lived in England and was working over there, something like that, I would be signing up to go to the NFL game that came to London just to get to go watch. So.
Well, one thing I see here with what you're saying. So Dallas did play. They played one game in 2014 against Jacksonville in London. They played several games in preseason games. But I agree 100%. I just feel like Jerry Jones right now is treating the Dallas Cowboys like they're the Harlem Globetrotters, where it's just a good product on the field, but yet they just, obviously the Harlem Globetrotter games are obviously scripted, but I guess what I'm getting at is it's box office. It's all about box office. It's all about selling tickets. And obviously that's what the NFL wants Jerry Jones to do. That's what he wants to do. He's wanting to make money, but I just don't know whether or not he really, truly wants to win a championship. I just don't. And like I said at the opening statement, he'll never win it with Dak Prescott as a starter. Not going to happen. Nothing against Dak. Nice guy. Whatever happens, it's this culture that's going on. Look at New England. They had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick for all those years, went to all those Super Bowls. Then they basically leave the last couple of years, and they're already back before Dallas ever gets in there. That just shows you like a difference in culture for this team. I believe I saw, Robert Kraft has had three different head coaches and three different quarterbacks because he had Bill Parcells, the first Super Bowl that Robert Kraft was the owner of, with Drew Bledsoe against the Green Bay Packers. And then obviously Bill Belichick, all those Super Bowls with Tom Brady. And then now Mike Vrabel with Drake Maye. So it's just a difference of organizations, and you can see it from top to bottom. And whether or not people believe in that stuff or not, it tells you something. Because then you look at these other, you look at Detroit, look at Cleveland. I shouldn't even say Detroit, how they have been in the past. Not so much now, but still, they haven't gotten the Super Bowl yet. And look at the Jets. The Jets are trash. The Raiders are trash. Arizona is trash. There's so many of these, and these are all teams. Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati got there a few years ago, but Joe Burrow took that team, put them on his back, and won that thing. Regardless, or they didn't win the whole thing, but he took them to the Super Bowl. But regardless, Jerry Jones doesn't want to win. Has no desire, and doesn't plan on winning. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Oklahoma City Thunder. The new blood in Jared McCain. Headline, Presti strikes gold again. Oklahoma City Thunder traded for Jared McCain from the Philadelphia 76ers. So, Kellen, this is what I want to ask you. Was the trade deadline too hyped up aside from this move? For us, anyway. Because it felt like a whole league was scared to make a deal. Or was this basically a dud? They got all of us hyped up and...
Yeah, it was definitely a dud. It was just to keep everybody engaged. Shams is just literal garbage, in my opinion. He's just somebody that's trying to build up hype to make money for ESPN and all this stuff. But all he did was just say what's going to happen, what might happen, what people are interested in. And most of the big stuff he said never happened. Giannis, Ja. Nobody gives a rip about Anthony Davis or Harden getting traded at this point. They've been traded hundreds of times, it feels like, so nobody gives a crap. I think it was like OKC fans should be happy. Everything that transpired worked in our favor, but the trade deadline hype was garbage. Nothing happened.
Clay?
I'm really glad Oklahoma City got something, because I think Jared McCain seems like he's going to fit, because we don't need all these picks. Houston's going to do well. At Houston's pick this year, Houston's going to be in the, I guess, bottom half. Is that the way to say it? The bottom half of the first round. So that's basically what we gave up for him. Everybody knows the second round picks, you're about 10% chance of it becoming something, maybe 20% chance of it becoming something. So, you got something that to me is a proven commodity, even though he's only been around for 1 year. It looked like the Sixers GM said it was he made an incredible trade for the 76ers, but the 76ers media Philadelphia media was ripping him. Like, you got nothing out of this. And, but he thinks he's got a great deal. I mean, only time will tell, but I just think, I think it's a setup for the future because we just know we're not going to be able to keep a lot of these guys. And, so we got to start getting something that to me is better than, people that are, still in college right now, or maybe even in high school.
So was it a dud to you? Were you hyped up and then all of a sudden you were just like, man, that wasn't a big deal at all?
I thought we probably could have given less draft picks, but after looking at it, I was like, we'll never use any of those picks. So probably a good deal that we got something out of it. We lost Jang, who's been traded like 3 times since we got that was kind of part of the deal to create a roster spot. But, did we need another guard, an outside shooter? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what the future is going to look like. So we have all the pieces. It just everybody's got to get healthy.
Well, I mean, I do think it was a dud. I think they got us all riled up thinking Giannis was going somewhere. I know Harden and Anthony Davis, those guys are whatever. They're past their prime. But speaking of McCain, so look at the numbers as a rookie in Philly. He was going up for rookie of the year until he got injured. He averaged 15.3 points and shot 38% from 3. I mean, he was incredible last year. Came out of Duke. Then he gets nagging injury in year 2, and his minutes dropped to 16 minutes a game. I think Philadelphia panicked. I truly do. I think that they have Tyrese Maxey. They feel like they were too small in the backcourt, and they needed a win now with veterans, which makes no sense at all. And I think they sold low on a blue chip asset. I truly think this kid is going to be a huge factor the second half of the season. I think right now he needs to be there, especially with Shea out, to help J-Dub with scoring. Because when Shea has been out, who's been scoring? It's been rough. And J-Dub comes back tonight against the Lakers. We'll talk about that here in a second. But regardless, I think this kid's going to be good. I don't know how good he is defensively. I mean, Kellen, we're talking about that. Kellen said he was definitely better than Isaiah Joe, which is not saying a whole lot, but he's better than him. We just got to we got to have somebody that can hit some open shots, because that's going to help create more shots for J-Dub, I think, and open him up a little bit more. Any thoughts to any of that? I think he's going to be a spark plug, basically, scoring off the bench. He's going to remind me of, not exactly, but when I say spark plug, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, Dennis Schroeder. Remember, he was like called him the microwave. I don't know, you remember Vinny the Microwave Johnson from the Detroit Pistons back in the day. I was trying to get people to call him microwave. I got somebody, Gannon called him microwave, but that's who he's going to remind me of. I think he's going to be a good kid off the bench that's going to help score and hopefully give a few extra minutes of rest to Shea and J-Dub. Anyone else?
I hope so. He's going to have to do a lot to get minutes come playoff time, just because our roster shrunk dramatically once that playoffs hit, I felt like. So he's going to have to do a lot to be able to overtop somebody like Wiggins. I feel like that'd be his biggest competition for minutes wise. I do think he can do it. I don't know how big it's going to be this year, but I really think in the next 2 years he's going to be a key bench player for us. I am really excited to have him. I think his personality fits right in with our team. I think if he can continue shooting 38+% from 3, he will be very valuable to this team, because that's something we desperately need. If it's a consistent 38 to 40+%, as long as it's not 60% today and 20% tomorrow. But I'm excited. I'm glad we went out and got him. Part of it was financially. We just weren't going to keep Zhang. He was going to get a little bit more money, and it was time for him to get a contract. So, McCain still on that rookie contract for a couple more seasons after this one, I believe. So I think it's just going to be, it just makes sense. Presti never ceases to amaze me and surprise me. I couldn't figure out many guys that I wanted us to go after, and once I saw the headline for that, I was like, that just makes perfect sense.
Well, I know here's our next topic is, the gauntlet with J-Dub returning, Shea out. J-Dub, he's back tonight, Shea's out. We've got the Lakers coming up. And I think it's a 9 p.m. tip-off here Central Time. Don't think I'll be able to stay up for that. But with Shea out, J-Dub, he can't just be the fun second option. This guy's got to take over. And I know this is going to be his first game back, but especially with Luke out, LeBron's going to be trying to take over on his end. Here's my question. Can Jared McCain and J-Dub generate enough offense on day one, with J-Dub being back, to keep up with the Lakers? Or is the lack of chemistry between these two going to kill us tonight?
I think we're missing a little bit of, we can't have SGA and AJ Mitchell out at the same time. I think that's what's killing us. I think obviously you never want SGA to be out, but if you're going to have him out, we need AJ Mitchell back. So we have some point guard material. Mitchell can score. So I'm hoping McCain can be that third guy to come in, because I thought we actually played pretty decent against the Rockets. But we just didn't have those two guys down there at the end. So we've got to have our whole team to be able to win against all the good teams like the Lakers, Rockets, those teams that are on our schedule. I think getting to play a little bit the other night, he got more minutes than I thought he would get. I think that helps. Hopefully these few days of practice will make a huge difference for him. And then you got the whole All-Star break with him practicing. So hopefully that'll make a difference, because if SGA and Mitchell are out for another few weeks, he's going to loom large.
I think, tonight we'll benefit from the fact that Luka's not playing, so both teams are missing their main guy. I think we're missing a bigger piece, because I personally don't think Luke. I think Luka's overrated.
He's going to help Lakers
good
defense.
Nights and bad nights. Yeah, it's going to help their defense, and Austin Reeves, I think, is honestly a better shooter at this point than he is. But we should be fine. But everybody has to go out there and play hard, and J-Dub has to be able to play well. He can't go out there and shoot 15 to 20%. I know he's coming back from injury, but we need him to play well. But Chet should dominate the paint. DeAndre Ayton's garbage and plays scared when he plays against anybody that's good in the paint. So I think we'll be fine. So we got the Suns next. They're a little banged up, and then the Bucks. So if we get to survive till the All-Star break, I think it'll be completely different once we come back.
Well, still on tonight's game, then we'll move on to the rest of the week's schedule quickly. But Chet Holmgren is the only thing standing between LeBron and the rim. So my question is, if Chet gets into foul trouble, do we have a plan B to stop the Lakers from scoring 130 points?
Yeah, because the thing is, it's not about the rim for this team. They're a perimeter team. They jack up a lot of threes, so it's going to be, we need Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and Cason Wallace to be on their game of guarding the perimeter. It helps that Luke is not there. That's one less person to guard, but Dort usually shuts Luka down pretty good. I don't think they're going to get hardly anything done in the paint.
Yeah.
Especially, so I couldn't see Chet getting into foul trouble unless they went out there with a game plan to try to do it. But I just don't think they're going to attack the paint enough to get Chet in trouble. And if they do, I think it's going to be late enough in the game that Hartenstein and Jay Will can manage the rest of the game. And Kendrick. Kendrick plays so hard, he's not going to let somebody get into the paint because he's going to be all up on him before they can get there.
I know we go Wednesday to Phoenix, and Booker he'll try to drop 50 on us, and Shea's not there. My question would be, Clay, is because I think this is a little bit of a trap game. So is this a schedule loss where we rest the guys to play against Milwaukee on the back-to-back game, or do we have the pride to fight this one out? Because we had some pride last week when we up against San Antonio with basically they were joking on saying it was our G League team, but what are your thoughts?
8 players.
Yeah.
No, I think it's pretty obvious after watching even that. Like, that's a good example. It's like we're trying to win no matter who do we have out there, and so I think the Lakers, they're probably going to be 4, 5, 6 range, probably in the playoffs, and so we need to keep winning. I mean, now we're tied with Detroit on number 1 seed overall, and I don't think Detroit can probably make it to the finals, but we need that number 1 seed. So I think our guys have the mindset that, and the whole organization is win every single game, and we're not going to try to tank anything because we need to rest. They all got to rest that San Antonio night, and now it's been 3 days since we played. That's a long, or 2 days. No, I guess we played Saturday, and 3 days before that, I guess is what I was thinking. So I think we go in, try to win this game, and because like Kellen said, they don't have Luka, we don't have SGA. I think I guess the pendulum swing goes back to our favor if you take out those 2 guys.
Most definitely. And then you've seen some of the Utah. They made some trades at the trade deadline, and I feel like they kind of got a little bit better, but then they're trying to tank still. They lost a close game a few nights ago, last second shot, and they're not unhappy about it. And then Kellen, what did they have, a lead going into halftime, or what did you say, third quarter, and then they set everybody a few nights ago as well.
So talking about the Jazz?
Yeah, Utah.
Yeah.
And then I know we'll have the back-to-back, play Milwaukee. You say Giannis isn't going to play, Kellen? Most likely?
I mean, there's nothing official, but I don't think he will. I don't remember when his injury happened, but he acted like he was out 4 to 6 weeks. But he also diagnosed himself and said it right after he said it right after a game without consulting doctors. But it seemed more of a personal choice. But going back to the Suns thing, though, it's not a trap game. A trap game, in my opinion, is you're playing a really good team next week, so you're focused on them, and you lose against a bad team. The Suns are a better team than the Bucks, so that's not a trap game. We know it's going to be difficult, and we're not going to rest anybody. The Bucks are easy. Granted, it's not a guaranteed win, especially in our state right now. But the Bucks are an easy enough team that you play everybody against the Suns, you should be able to play everybody against the Bucks, and then they get 7 days off of work. It'd be different if okay, we had the Spurs 2 days later. No, you get 7 days off after everybody that's healthy should be playing all the games this week because it's going into the All-Star break. We need to win 2 games minimum in the 5-game stretch before the All-Star break without Shea, because there's no guarantees he's coming back after the break. He'll be reevaluated, but he's got the same injury that AJ Mitchell has had, and he's been out for seems like forever. So, there's no guarantees. We have to win every game that we can because San Antonio was creeping up.
If we go 1-2, is that a failure, or do you expect to go 2-1 and this team fight it out?
I think it's a failure because when they said the 5 games, I was thinking we needed to win a minimum of 2, and so far we've lost 2. So,
but there's only 3 games before the All-Star break, right?
Yeah, but when Shea went out, we had 5, and we've lost 5. 2 so far. There's 3 left. So I think we need to win 2 out of the next 3.
Yeah.
I think we have the ability to win all 3, but I understand without Shea, anything can happen, so I'm not going to say it's a guarantee, but I think we, on paper, should be able to beat both these teams. As long as we have J-Dub, it'd be great if Mitchell came back for the Suns, but at this point, I really think they'll just keep him out until the All-Star break, but we'll see.
If we go 3-0, man, I'll feel so good about that second half of the season. Dang.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I agree.
Gum.
Because the Suns and the Lakers are 2 good teams. It's not like we're playing a bunch of nobodies. Bucks, if Giannis plays, they're a team that, they can be decent, but they're not good. Their team makes no sense.
Cheeks.
Yeah. They're cheeks. 2 cheeks.
2 cheeks. So, real quick, I just want to touch base on one topic of the Oklahoma Sooner basketball team, men's team. They surprised and upset Vanderbilt this past weekend. Does that say Porter's job for the rest of the season?
No.
That win? No. You still think it's a chance he loses his job sometime between now and the end of the season? You're telling me?
No. I think he's going to make it through the season. I think his only chance of coming back is maybe to win out / win the SEC tournament and make the NCAA tournament, but you can't be You can't be 500 in February and expect to be, to keep your job in a Power 5 conference, Power 4 conference. So yeah, it's unfortunate. They probably should have ended up losing that game. I watched it, flipping back and forth between that and the Thunder. I think the last
They tried to give it away.
3.5 minutes. Last 3.5 minutes, it was a 19-1 run by Vanderbilt. It's unbelievable.
I was following it through Twitter. I was watching the Thunder game and followed it through Twitter, and those guys were saying, "Hey, at what point are we going to start giving up, or not giving up, but losing control here?" And sure enough, it started happening. All right, so I've got 3, I call them fun questions for you, fantastic gentlemen here.
They're never fun.
You don't think so? Okay. So here is the first one. I'm going to make you both the commissioner of everyday life for 24 hours. You can make one human behavior illegal that just drives you insane, punishable by immediate jail time. So what are you going to outlaw?
Something that's not already outlawed.
Right. Something that just kind of drives you nuts a little bit. Just some regular things people do on an everyday basis.
I've got 2.
Go for it.
I don't know which one I would choose, but first is people that, especially when you're at the front of the line at a stoplight and you're stopped in the right lane and there's no turn lane, you got to get over to the left. Because everybody that needs to turn right, turn right. People that just, especially when the left lane's open, that just ticks me off. They're just a inconvenience. I think some people enjoy being an inconvenience because that's the only impact they have on anybody's life, is slowing everybody else down. Another one that drives me insane is people, I know it happens every once in a while because you don't always know where you're going or things come up, but people who consistently go to a restaurant and just have zero clue what they want to eat. Look at the menu beforehand, or especially if you're going to Chick-fil-A or Cane's, it's chicken. How hard is it? Just order. It's not that hard. Glance at the menu. Oh, do I want 3 or 4 strips? 4? Okay, fries. Thank you. It's not that hard to fly through a menu. Because also, there's never a restaurant that I go to where I don't just have a general idea of what do I typically like to eat. When I find it, I'm going to order it. It's not like I'm just going somewhere that, oh my gosh, I've never seen any of this stuff. It drives me insane.
I hope you never go eat with your aunt, Kellen. Because it's okay, so she won't watch us, so it's okay.
What?
Well, don't make this the short little clip, or I might be in trouble. Or I'm gonna say, that I'm a decently hygienic person. I take a shower every day. I brush my teeth all the time. I mean, at least once a week. And no, I'm just kidding. But it drives me insane. My wife and I love to go to convenience stores and get a pop or a tea or something like that. So my commissioner of life is clean. You have to clean those machines all the time, and they don't do it. And it's unbelievable how just like, oh my God, you're expecting me to get a paid product out of it. If I want it to be dirty, it's going to be dirty at my house where I know it's my dirt, not everybody else that's come in there that I don't know. So I guess that's probably mine.
That makes me think of, it should also be illegal for guys to get a scoop of mashed potatoes and scrape it with their used fork when you're at a table full of all of these other people. It's just nasty.
Well, mine would be people that walk into a place of business that's going to close in 5 minutes. And they come in right before and, we're just going to look. Well, there's some things we need. Hey, man, and I know, I get it. Hey, you close at a certain time. You should be open at a certain time. But you know what? There's no reason for you to walk in right at time of closing. Kellen, I know you have folks when you were at Lambert's walk in right before closing, and you guys had to obviously take care of them. It just drives me nuts. People need to stop that stuff. Knock it off. I mean, probably doesn't bug either of you guys, huh?
Oh no, it bugs me. And
Well,
I never did this because I'm also a germaphobe and a hygienic person, and I think that what goes around comes around. So I never did this, but when you go up into a restaurant within 30 minutes of them closing, depending on who's working that night, you don't know what they might do to your food. So I would just steer away. I never did anything because I do not want anybody to do that back to me. So I will.
Remember.
So let me ask you this.
People in high school.
if your restaurant or business closes at 9 and somebody comes in at 8:50 and you get really mad, if you close at 8:30 and they came in at 8:20, would you still be just as mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're trying to leave at that time.
You're trying to
So
leave.
it's not about the time; it's about when they come in.
Yeah.
Because I
Well,
think
yeah,
we've all
it's
probably
about-
done that, not intentionally, but you're just like, sorry,
Hey.
man, I just got out of the Thunder game. I'm sorry if you closed at 9.
I'm not
No,
going to tell you.
I check what the hours are before I show up to a spot.
I'll tell you off air what me and Lee used to call that time frame, and we would never go to a restaurant that if it closed at 9, we would not be there at 8:00. We had to be there at like 7:45. We would never go an hour before. We have a word for it, but I'm not going to say that here. It's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, just
For
don't
sure.
do it. Don't do it because you don't want to know what might have happened to your food.
I wonder anyways, no matter what time I eat.
That's fair. That's why I try to be very nice to everybody that's handling my food.
All right. Second question. Would you rather give up using a phone or a tablet forever or give up having to salt any food? No, you can't salt any food for forever. Which one would you rather do?
No salt. I can find other seasonings, and there's plenty of other seasonings outside of salt. I can live without it.
No salt, because, you're not supposed to be doing it anyways.
I'm supposed to do what?
Putting salt on your food.
Yeah. That's what they want you to know. That's what they want you to think. I'm a conspiracy theorist. So. All right. And the final question. All right. Listen up to this one. I had to put my glasses on for this one because I can't see the daggum thing. There's a shelf life on spoiler alerts. If a movie has been out for 6 months or a season finale has been out for about 2 weeks, the burden of avoiding information shifts from the public to the procrastinator. So where do you draw the line? Is it a week, a month? Once it's streamed, is it fair game? Because you'll talk to somebody and they're like, oh wait, hold on. I don't want to hear it. Don't spoil it for me. I got it recorded at home. What's the time frame?
For TV, it kind of depends. In my mind, maybe 2 weeks, because like if you care that much, you should watch it then. I've been there where I didn't get it knocked out in that 2 weeks. But you can't expect people just to not talk about it. Movie-wise, I think you got to wait till it's on streaming because not everybody wants to go pay for it at a movie theater. Now, granted, you could talk to people, but just don't be screaming about it out at the office or whatever. But I'd say probably 2 weeks for a TV show before it kind of shifts. Like, okay, it's not my fault you haven't seen it.
For me, it's unlimited. I don't think there is a time frame. I think if you're going to say, hey, Todd, Kellen, did you watch this show? That's how you start it out, not just start telling them the ends. They said they hadn't watched it, and you're like, oh, man, all right, call me, text me whenever you watched it, so let's talk about the ending because it's really good, or don't waste your time. That's about it. But you always ask, have you seen it before you just start talking about it? Because it could be 2 or 3 years down the road. Because there's so much on TV anymore and on streaming, you can't keep up with it all.
So what if somebody comes to you and goes, hey, Clay, Titanic, whenever at the end, Jack dies. Oops, sorry, that was a spoiler alert I just dropped out. But Jack dies. You're going to be
What if you
mad?
haven't seen it?
That's their problem. It's been like 20 years.
Yeah,
30 years.
I mean, what are you, the spoiler police? I mean,
If you came up to me and told me that you were going to watch the Titanic for the first time, and I've never seen the Titanic, but if you came up and told me, I would at this point, it's been out so long, I'd say, okay, but Jack dies. That's your fault.
The boat sinks. I mean, come on, I know that.
Well, we know that,
but I mean, I just,
what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like some of these shows, like I watched that His and Hers the other day. You talked about it, and I watched it, and the first show, which kind of I thought dragged on a little bit. The next thing, just kind of got pretty good. But I think if you would have told me everything at that point, that was going to be a problem. But I watched it real quick, so now I can figure it out because I saw somebody else put on Facebook, I think at some point, that it was a really good show as well. So I thought, you know what, I need to check this out. And you know what, mind blowing. So I'll tell you what happens is, I'm just kidding.
I haven't watched it.
It's been out
yet.
for a couple of weeks, so according to Kellen, that means I could tell everybody, what the ending is, and that's not right.
No, you don't come up to me and say it, but if you and Dad were talking about it, if you were at our house and you and Dad wanted to talk about it, like you guys are allowed to talk about it at that point. You don't have to directly tell me, but I just mean like, okay, if Stranger Things dropped last night and you guys all went into the office, don't just go screaming about it the next morning about it, because it's like not everybody's seen it, but you can go talk to the people privately of who have seen it.
Me and your dad are sitting there talking about a show, and you're like, dude, I hadn't watched it yet. It's okay because it's been out for 2 weeks. Is that what you're saying? No,
I mean, I can go to the other room.
I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to talk about it, and if they don't want to hear it, go. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to worry about it at all. Not going to happen. And then you got some of these guys that'll record sporting events. First off, I record sporting events, but guess what? I don't care. They're like, oh, I'm going to go home and watch it. Oh, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. Come on, man. I'm going to tell you.
There was a time when that worked, but it doesn't work during the
all
smartphone era.
Notifications and everything you're getting. Everybody, I'm going to shut my phone off. I mean, whatever, man.
There's too many TVs everywhere, smartphones. Like, you're going to find out somewhere. Sporting events, you can't say anything.
That's a whole different question.
Clay draws a line at sporting events.
Yeah, you didn't say that. You said movies.
I know.
Sporting events is live. Like, that's completely different. It's a live event.
See?
I'm going to talk about it live.
This is before, I think it was before VCRs. I don't know. I was at the Tulsa workshop years ago, and I heard this guy say, hey, we're going to the Sweet 16 or the Final, I think he said Final Four. He was talking about OU. And I thought, I guess they beat Memphis because they were playing Memphis in the Elite Eight, and they're playing a guy named Keith Lee, and it was Wayman Tisdale against Keith Lee. And I was all excited. Woohoo! We're going to Final Four. Got home. Oh, you lost. So I don't know. He was just messing with people, I guess. So
he was a Memphis fan.
Yeah, it could have been, but it really, really.
Oh, speaking of the NCAA tournament.
What about it? You going?
I've heard. I might be.
Okay. I'll just make sure like you're not bailing out or something.
Oh, no. I can't wait. I thought of that the other day when they were talking about
it. Oh, I know.
There's so many good teams this year.
Oklahoma
City's bound to get a couple of good teams.
Oh, definitely they're going to get some good teams. 100%. You know they will. All right. Well, for the sign-off, folks, J-Dub's back. Is in the stands. He's not playing in the Super Bowl. And the Thunder are walking into a fire. Don't let the trap game, which I call it a trap game in Phoenix, catch you sleeping. So I just want everybody to thank everybody for listening to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. For the dog and for Bench, I'm Todd. Stay savage and not average, everybody. So long. Boomer.
Thank you for listening to the Fox 10 Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Fox 10 Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fox 10 Sports and on Facebook at Fox 10 Sports Podcast. You can also email us at fox10sports@yahoo.com. This has been Fox 10 Sports.